Last season, West Ham finally won promotion back to the Premier League, and now it's time to see how far we can take the Hammers. It's finally happened. West Ham have completed their return to the Premier League, and now we start our first season back in England's top division. It's been a difficult journey since the club's financial collapse that left us in League 2. We started with only 18 senior players and no home stadium, which meant we were forced into sharing Brisbane Road with local rivals Leyton Orient. But thanks to Captain Mark Noble and some budding youth talents, West Ham still proved to be way too good for the 4th tier, so we went on to win the league and with it promotion to League 1. We kicked off Season 2 with several new signings, but it was the experienced Jordan Hugill and youth star Lance Alexander who carried the team with their goals up top, and our season came down to the wire, but we battled our way through the playoffs to secure a spot in the championship. Season 3 was a period of growth as new stars emerged, but the team ultimately was not good enough for the challenge of winning promotion to the Premier League. However, our performances caught the eye of a new investor who took over the club and splashed some cash to get us back our old stadium and bring in top players. So we pushed on despite a highly competitive championship to yet again win promotion through the playoffs. And now we find West Ham back in the Premier League where they belong, and it's time to kick off a brand new era of success for the Hammers. So with our new American owner ready to drop some cash and fortify our position in the top division, it's time to see how far we can take this team. Hey, what's going on? Respected Jeff back here for Season 5 of this West Ham career. This is it, guys. We're back in the Premier League, and it is going to be a crazy season for us as we try to stave off relegation. And just up front, before we get into any transfers or anything, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. We are not in the best of shape. Taking a quick look at the rest of the table here, I'm using a website called Fifa Tracker to just lay out the landscape of the Premier League right now. And if we look at the overalls of these teams, we sit in dead last, 71 overall. And we need heavy reinforcements if we want any shot at staying up this season. So that brings us to our Season 5 goals. Avoid relegation, number 1 on the list. We also want to build the team to 75 overall, which is going to require some new signings and improve the youth academy while we're at it. And taking a look at our budget for this season, $85 million to spend thanks to our new rich owners and the Premier League money and some new sponsorships on top of that. So we should be able to get into the transfer market and make some big new signings. So Captain Mark Noble retiring at the end of the year. He'll be 37 at the time, so we're going to need some reinforcements in midfield. Ashish has gone back to PSG for the time being, so we're light on center mids right now. We also probably need a top center back, top goalkeeper, maybe a fullback and a winger while we're at it as well. The squad is looking a little thin for Premier League quality. So first up, Adil Ashish is my primary target, but after putting an offer in for him, he wants to stick it out at PSG. They've seen the improvement from him, and they're offering him a rotation role. So despite the low release clause, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get our top man this time around. So taking a look at some of these other options here, Declan Rice, Sander Berge, Thomas Souček, they're all just a little too expensive. We need so many signings and we can't spend more than half our budget on one single player. So we trigger the release clause for Douglas Luiz, and some quick negotiations later, we have our first signing of the window. Douglas Luiz, 81 overall, defensive midfielder, and we get him for $34 million. Not too bad. He's very well-rounded, he has Premier League experience, and he's versatile enough that he can fit in several positions depending on how we want to play in the Premier League this year. And at 25 years of age, he could be with us for the long haul as well. So second signing comes in the form of Grady Diangana, ex-West Ham player and a fantastic talent on the ball for $22 million. 77 overall, he can play on the left or the right, and he has deep West Ham ties. He came up through the academy, a really tricky winger, and I think we needed someone to improve on Holland and Brown, who just can't cut it in a league like this by themselves. So next up, we roll on with the transfers. Goalkeeper up next. Angus Gunn is our top priority here, but he was not happy with the wages offered for him, so it was down to plan B, Jack Butland, who also wanted way too much in terms of wages, and it would have broken our structure, so we settled for plan C. It's Pontus Dahlberg from Bristol City, 24 years of age, not gonna light the league on fire or anything, but for $6.5 million, that's pretty good business from us, and we still have Tyler Bell coming through as our youth goalkeeper as well. So as a quick reminder, we also have George Baldock coming in, right wing back from Sheffield United after they failed to get promotion last season, 76 overall. He also has some Premier League experience, and he should be able to help out our back line for sure. So 4 transfers knocked out already, still a couple more to go, but we're going to take on preseason in the meantime. So here are the new kits that I created for this season. We have a new sponsorship deal with American company Oracle that ties in with our owners, as well as a deal with Nike for the kits this season. And we will be able to extend that deal if we manage to stay up this year, but there are no promises. It's going to be a really tough relegation battle for sure. But with all these new signings, I like to think we have a good shot at staying up, and it all starts here with our form in preseason. So for the starting 11, we have all 4 new signings in the lineup to get started here. So without further ado, let's check out those highlights. So it's the new mixed in with the old for preseason here. Douglas Luiz lines up along Ewan Bennett, our youth center back. We get off to a good start here. Jordan Hugill sets up Haksabanovic. How about that to kick off preseason? Fantastic goal from the edge of the box. And things continued here. George Baldock, the new right back, getting forwards, and he picks out a pass looking for Haksabanovic, denied by an excellent save from the foot of the goalkeeper. And it was the opposition who would draw level just before halftime, laying it off too easy on the counterattack. Looks like our defense still needs improvement. Unfortunately, the game ended that way, 1-1 with a draw. That's pretty disappointing from West Ham, and I expect much better from this team. In Game 2, the squad was rotated a lot. Lance Alexander getting the start up top, beats his man with ease, almost scores a goal there himself, but Haksabanovic there to clean it up for his second of preseason. It's been a hot start from our center mid. Cullen this time laying it off for Archie Hall, makes it 2. Fantastic response from the team to get back in this, and some of the fringe players really making a name for themselves here. Archie Hall and Lance Alexander among those who I expect to make an impact this season, but Reagan Poole, our center back, who has struggled with life at West Ham, again making an individual error there, not to close his man down, pulls one back for the opposition. Nathan Holland, who comes on as a sub, takes it in himself and lays it off for Lance Alexander, who does grab a goal. Always happy to see him get on the score sheet. Big Lance makes it 3, and that's how the game ends. Better from the team, and now we march on. Game number 3, we get started here with Douglas Luiz picking out Ed Green, who gets the start this time, dancing inside, and he almost pulls off a fantastic solo goal. We've come to expect the outrageous from him, and he shows that he is not giving up here, taking on his man and draws in a free kick there. Really good start from Ed Green. Second half comes the opening chance of the game. It's Hugill who plays through Lucas Nemecha on the counterattack, takes it in himself and slots it into the corner, 1-0, and a goal comes just like that. This time Nathan Holland with a very similar position here, can't quite finish, it's off the post, and George Baldock making the run all the way from right back to clean that one up for our second, and it's the first goal from our new signing, 2-0, and that's our second win in a row. So it's on to the semifinals of preseason, and right away the opposition getting in behind our back line. Callan's too slow to cover, and we go a goal down just like that. Good response from the team though. Archie Hall charging forwards, a little weak maybe, but they do give away the penalty there, and it's converted by Lucas Nemecha. And I don't think I've ever seen an opportunity that close to the goal line, but it counts nonetheless. Second half here, Mark Noble winning that ball back, and he picks out Lance Alexander, just waiting for the run, stays on sides, and he finishes! Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Lance Alexander having a great preseason again. We find ourselves a goal up here with Ed Green cutting inside, taking his man on. He has been so hungry for goals in preseason here, almost scores one himself, and again it's Alexander to clean up the mess from that goalkeeper's save. 3-1, 70 minutes into the match, and can we make it 4 now? Ed Green still going here, and he is on fire here in preseason. Rips a shot at the goalkeeper. Good save with a strong wrist there, but how about that for some flair at the end of the move? Ed Green really making a name for himself out here. 3-1, we march on to the final, and hopefully we can win a little extra money. So we take on the final here, and it's a hot start to the game. Lucas Nemecha out on the wing, who sets it up for his brother Felix, saved by the goalkeeper. That's a really good save. He struck that well, but we continue the pressure here. And it's Felix picking up the ball here. He gets the start over Haksabanovic in this game, and he is also making an impression here, scoring a fantastic goal, turning his man and slotting it into the corner. We're going to have a bit of a selection headache here come the time for actual Premier League games. Lucas Nemecha doing really well too. Sets it back up for Felix, who sinks it for his second. Well, how about that for taking the most of his opportunity? Both Nemecha brothers on fire here in preseason. And really, the whole team were doing really well with a 2-goal lead. Only a couple minutes left in the game here. They draw one back. Made for a nervy end of the game here, but we do manage to hang on and pull off a victory, so a couple million more from that preseason tournament now to spend. But even better, we can take our form out of preseason and head into the Premier League season in really good spirits. So we ended preseason on a really good note there, picking up a couple million extra and also getting a couple million extra. Mikel Antonio, I know he's a fan favorite, but he's been sold. He's getting up there with age and he wasn't happy playing right back. I don't think he was going to be able to cut it in the Premier League anyways. So he moves off, and we also got a loan offer in for Ewan Bennett. Before preseason, I probably would have let this happen, but he really impressed me. He played every game of preseason and looked great. So a quick one to watch for this season. Ewan Bennett, still only 20 years of age. He's been our academy player from day one. 71 overall right now, 79 potential. He could be a really solid player for us in the future here. Another offer coming in too for Josh Cullen. Burnley want our player for 15 million. Not gonna happen. He's still one of our most important players. Marcus Brown has also been loaned out. He just doesn't have too many opportunities in the Premier League right now. He's been fairly disappointing actually since signing, and Holland is going to be the one who stays to fight with Diangana for that spot. So we have 24 million left to spend. We need a center back and probably a fullback too. Taking a look at some of the players I have listed here, and I think it's clear that we need immediate improvement in our backline. So given the choice between someone young with lots of potential or someone more established who could fit in right now, I think we're going to have to go with the latter. So Milos Degenek, our top option, the Australian, 79 overall. Look at those stats. He is a fantastic ball-playing center back. We had one more option with the Croatian above 74 overall with bags of potential, but ultimately we went for Degenek and we signed him for 11.5 million. Not too bad. He's a ball-playing center back. I think he's exactly what we need, the kind of partner who can help direct play alongside Tompkins and Callens. Really excited to see what will come from our new signing here. So with that taken care of, it's down to our left back situation now. We have no depth there, so we desperately need a signing, and it's between Ian Maatsen and Juan Castillo now at Ajax. One a little more attacking, one a little more defensive, so ultimately we go with Maatsen, the more defensive-minded of the two. Still a good attacking threat, but I think we need all the defensive prowess we can get in the Premier League. We get the deal done for only 5.2 million, tons of potential on him. I don't know if he'll be a starter right away, but he'll be in contention with Garmston for that left back spot, and I'm really excited to see what comes from him in the next couple of seasons. So how about that for a team overhaul? 6 new signings, 86 million spent. That's pretty much exactly what we had to spend. We got Douglas Luiz, Diangana, Degenek, Dahlberg, and Maatsen. And don't forget, we also had Baldock coming in on a free transfer too, so that makes it 6. And I think these are the right types of signings too. We still have the core of our team intact, but this sort of fills the gaps that we had weaknesses in. So this takes us to our first game of the Premier League season, guys. It's Watford up first. We're fielding questions in the press conference here, and we're asked about our team's relegation battle. I gotta say, we're prepared to fight. It's gonna be a very difficult season, but with some of these new signings, I think we're gonna be up for the challenge. Only time will tell though. Asked about Degenek's transfer as one of the bargains of the year, and I gotta say, we did pretty good business there. 11.5 for someone of his quality, not bad at all, and I have really high hopes for this player. We're also asked pretty much the same question about Maatsen coming in from Chelsea, and as a Chelsea fan myself, I gotta say I was pretty excited about that one. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does over the next few seasons. So our first up opponents here, Watford. They finished 9th last season, a solid mid-table Premier League side. They beat us 3-1 last time we faced them, last season actually, in the EFL Cup. They have really fast strikers up top, Calvert-Lewin and Kina just behind him. And in terms of weaknesses, maybe right back, but even that's kind of a stretch. I think they're a solid team, and honestly, it's going to be a tough game for us. So while we're still getting a feel for the new signings, I'm not going to change anything. It's still going to be the 4-3-3, Hugill and Nemecha up top, Haksabanovic behind them, Cullen and Douglas Luiz in the center, and then some of our new signings in the back line. So this is how we line up for Watford. First game of the season, and let's get to it. Alright, well the day has finally come. Premier League action is back on the menu for West Ham United, and we take on Watford in our first game here at Vicarage Road back in the Premier League. I am so excited to see how this team can stack up this season. I think we were pretty solid in the transfer market. We made some smart signings, and like I said earlier, we kept the core of the team alive, so I'm still excited to see how players like Hugill and Nemecha can transition into the Premier League. But ultimately, it all comes down to this, the match day action. We need to have a strong start out here and make a name for ourselves. I really want to try to get a point or even go on to win this type of game against mid-table Premier League opposition. So there we have it, guys. Hugill and Nemecha alongside Diangana as our front three. Can we go on to score some goals in the Premier League this season like we were doing in the Championship last time out? It's going to be more difficult for sure, but I think under this management and with some of the new signings, we should be able to go on to do that. Baldock doing the good defensive work here early in the match, but it's a really tight one. Watford pressing really, really hard. We do win a free kick on that chance, but I think this is just a level of quality difference here in the Premier League. Teams press so much quicker, and we're having a brutal time finding any kind of space in the midfield. The passing circles around us here. A chance comes in from distance, and luckily we do just keep that one from distance. Dahlberg makes that save pretty easily. But 44 minutes into the match, not too many chances for either team. Watford have been the better side so far. Garmston putting a cross and forces the goalkeeper to make a sloppy save. And it's new signing Douglas Luiz who gets his first goal for the club. And first goal back in the Premier League as well. What a huge play from this team against the run of play to score a goal there. And once again, it's Garmston, the man charging down that left-hand side, who sets up the opportunity. Not the best cross in the world. The keeper definitely probably could have done better there, but Douglas Luiz there to pounce when it counts. So that's the end of first half action. Whistle blows. A fantastic 45 from this team so far. And now we just got to hang on for the second if we want a huge upset result here in our first game back in the Premier League. Really, really good start. Diangana fitting in pretty well on the wing. We haven't had too many chances now. Watford pretty much keeping us quiet aside from that one chance. You can just see here some of these passes not going through. We're used to really controlling the midfield in the Championship. We dominated possession in games. It's just not going to be the case in the Premier League. But Haksabanovic getting a chance in behind, yanked down in the box. That was a pretty clean tackle by Emerson in the end. A good opportunity from our central midfielder. Now it's Diangana cutting in, lays it off. Josh Colin, and he puts it in the back of the net. 2-0. We double our lead. Who would have thought come the start of this game that we would be running riot like this? 2 goals up. Fantastic, fantastic stuff from the whole team. And once again, it's that man, Josh Cullen, charging out of midfield. He does it all. He does the defensive work. He scores goals. He gets assists. One of our better players for the entirety of this career. Great finish. Nothing the keeper could do about that. And now we look to be really comfortable going into the later stages of this game. About 15 minutes left. We just got to keep Watford quiet here. Pusetto coming forwards. Cullen goes in for the tackle. Can't quite do it, and it is a world-class strike outside the box. From some distance for Watford, pull one back. Pusetto, how about that? One of the goals of the season maybe already in the opening game of the Premier League. Nothing we could do to stop it. Cullen tried to close down, goes in for the tackle, and he just cuts inside. Maybe megs him on that, and also nothing Dahlberg could do about it. 2-1, game getting a little close here at the end. We're bringing on Archie Hall as a defensive reinforcement in the middle. We need to control this game with only a couple minutes left. Just got to make sure that Watford can't grab a second here. Diangana on the ball. Goes for the safe option, plays it back. And another sub coming on now. Bradley Garmston coming off. He gave it his all. He ran himself into the ground. So now it's time for Ian Motson to come on and make his debut for West Ham United with some fresh legs in that back line. Just a couple minutes left now to hang on. 3 remaining without extra time added on here. Pusetto charging forwards. No one able to close him down so quick. The youngster scored that amazing goal earlier, and he sets it up now. And it's Keita Balde who draws level for Watford. Only a couple minutes left, and we just couldn't hang on. That's poor closing down from our midfield. And at this kind of Premier League level, we just can't afford any space given to the opposition because they will punish us, and they certainly did on that occasion. Pusetto scored the first goal, assisted the second. Not the most fantastic of passes, and actually looking back at that, I think Motson should have done better. He was closing down. Balde stuck a leg out and just didn't do enough to get on the end of it. And unfortunately, not a lot of time left now, and we just cannot afford any more opportunities. If we went on to lose this game, that would be horrible. We'll settle for the point at this point. Baldock coming forwards. Douglas Luiz. Maybe one more opportunity, doing well to keep a hold of the ball. Archie Hall trying to get it forwards. Douglas Luiz, no one making moves, and again giving away that that's sloppy. And hopefully not time here for Zaha to spring a counterattack for Watford. Picks out the wrong pass. Degenek is there to intercept, and the full-time whistle blows. It's a 1 point apiece. Watford coming back from 2 goals down to draw level here. We take a point away from our first game back in the Premier League. Well, it feels like a huge loss given the fact that we were 2 goals up, but I think given the opportunity at the start of this game, we would have taken the 1 point. So let's just take away the positives. We got plenty of stuff to work on here. I think it was a good debut from some of our new signings. Despite the 2 goals, Degenek looked fantastic at center back. So hopefully we'll go on to gel a bit more as a team in future games. 37 more games to play, so still plenty of room, and we march on. Alright, well, not the best, not the worst from our first performance back in the Premier League. We do take a point away from pretty decent opposition, so I'm not too worried about it. Tompkins will be back from injury soon, and hopefully that'll help our defense out. So taking a quick look at everything said and done with our transfers, we're up to 74 overall. That takes us ahead of Fulham, Everton, and Norwich. and hopefully increases our odds of staying up next season. Our target was 75 by the end of the season, so I think that's totally doable with some player growth mixed in there over the course of the season, so things are looking to be in good shape now. It's going to be a long, hard battle to avoid relegation, but we've shown time and time again that we are up for this kind of challenge. So I'm really excited to see what comes for the Hammers the rest of this season. That will come next episode though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out a lot, and you can stay up to date with this series. So we march on next time around, but until then, I'm Respect the Jeff, and I'll see you next time.